إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئاتنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل كما جاء في محكم التنزيل. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون. Dear brothers and sisters, we always begin with an abundant praise. We have been blessed to have this honorable guest called the holy month of Ramadan. And we are saddened, our hearts are broken that this guest is leaving. Before Ramadan leaves us, let's take a reflection in ourselves, in what we have been doing and what we may do in these last few nights to gain the most benefit out of this month, to see if we have attained that God consciousness, that mindfulness of divine presence and guidance in our lives. Ramadan was all about spiritual replenishment, to refill the spiritual tank. Throughout the year, through the worldly test of the fast lane of life, materialism surrounding us, secularism surrounding us, our spirituality and our character is afflicted, and it lowers and it decreases. And so in Ramadan we establish a deep, strong connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through fasting every day, through remembering Allah often, through coming in the nights to pray, through gathering large gatherings and providing food for people, and for praying in the night. Surely we're not going to be able to keep all of this going on, but for us it is important to reflect. If I benefited from Ramadan, then that means after Ramadan I will increase what I was doing just before Ramadan in my attendance at the mosque, in my participation in educational programs. When there's an opportunity for volunteering, I do that. When I get a text message or email, I look into it, I respond. I have a desire to be involved. If there's a way to get my youth involved in the programs, I'm going to encourage them and get the youth involved in the programs. That is what we can do after Ramadan. We have a few days left, and the Prophet ﷺ, Aisha radiallahu anha, told us how he was in the last 10 days of Ramadan. Shadda mi'zarah. He tightened up his pants, right? And Imam al-Khattabi, he said, الراجح أنه بمعنى أنه اجتهد زيادة على عادته في غيره. That Imam al-Khattabi, he said, what this really means is that he worked really hard on his devotion and worship, more in this time than in any other time in the year. And he said that why? He said linguistically, we the Arabs, we would say, شَدَّدْتُ مِئْزَرِي فِي هَذَا الْأَمْرِ. If he's talking about working hard on a given situation or issue that he is facing, that he would tighten up his pants for this one. There's other tafsirs for the hadith. So now we find ourselves in an opportunity to reflect on worship. Obviously, worship is praying and reading the Quran and honoring our parents and taking care of our neighbors, seeking beneficial knowledge. That's all worship. And we know that salat is the top of all worship, a connection with the divine, to daily split out from our worldly interest and put Allah above and beyond everything else as our goal of success, to pray 5 times a day. But believe it or not, there is one type of worship that was talked about most in the Holy Quran, and that is charitable giving. Because Islam is all about selfless compassion. To not be selfish about me and what I want and what I can have and what I like and what I desire, but rather seeing me as a part of a we, as a part of a whole of Allah's plan and to work consciously for that effort and for those ends. And so this concept of giving is foundational in our religion. There are two cases in which when we give, it's elevated in its value. Number one, وَأَنْفِقُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, to give in the cause of Allah. What does that mean? That means to give for the purpose of spreading Islam or to give in the purpose of protecting the Muslims. That's what fi sabilillah means. And the Prophet ﷺ commented on that type of giving, and he said, "Man anfaqa nafaqatan fi sabilillah kutibat lahu 700 ضعفا." That whoever gives in charity for the cause of Allah, they will have written for them 700 times the value of that deed. So basically, you're going to have 700 times what you give on your scale in the day of judgment when it is for that purpose. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Quran, وَأَنْفِقُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ وَأَحْسِنُوا فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Now when somebody reads this, they might think, what's the correlation, right? But if we read the whole context of it, we'll find out. It says, and spend, Allah is commanding us, in the cause of Allah, and do not cause your own demise by your hands, and be generously giving, because Allah loves those who generously give. So what is the relationship? This comes after Allah warned the believers about the threat of the aggressors, the Quraysh. وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُعْتَدِينَ. Fight in the cause of Allah those who fight you, and do not be the aggressors, because Allah does not love the aggressors. So then 2 ayahs later, after talking a little bit more about it, he says, spend it in the cause of Allah and do not cause your own demise by your own hands, and be generous because Allah loves the generous. What he's saying is, when you need to be giving so that the spread of Islam, the protection of the Muslims is guaranteed by your giving, when that is the case, then you must give and not be greedy or stingy, because then we don't have the resources to protect ourselves and we're destroyed. وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ أي لَا تَبْخَلْ عَنْ الْعَطَاءِ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Don't be greedy and not give for the cause of Allah. Right? So we know that that is one very important aspect of giving. The second aspect of giving that makes it so special and so important and gives it so much value is that you give it in faith and in trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a proof of your faith. Even in times when you're struggling, when you're checking your budgeting, you have some bills, you have some debts, you have family things, you have kids going to college, you have loans that you're worried about. You're taking a look at all of these things and you're making sure that you're taking care of that. The one who gives when they're concerned in that situation is the real believer in Islam. Our faith is tested in this case. Anybody, any human being, whatever their religion or not religion, if they see something, a good cause, they'll give to it. Right? But the one who gives when they're a little bit restricted financially or they have plans with their financial, that person is a true believer. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ said, وَالصَّدَقَةُ بُرْهَانٌ. Your charity is a proof of your faith. Sadaqah comes from the same root as sidq. Sidq means genuine, honest, goodness, sincerity. Right? And so sadaqah, it comes from your genuine sincerity towards Allah, that you know giving to others is selfless compassion. You understand your purpose in life in that case. In the ayah that said, hasten, hurry to forgiveness from your Lord and a Jannah that is bigger than the expanse of the universe, all for you. It's prepared for those who have taqwa, those who benefited from Ramadan, those who benefited from reading the Quran. Those people have taqwa. Then it says, what's their description? The first description of these people, الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ فِي السَّرَّاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ. They're those who give in times of ease and more importantly in times when they feel like they have to watch their budgeting in their finances. The Prophet ﷺ, they asked him, Ya Rasulullah, أَيُّ الصَّدَقَةِ أَعْظَمُ أَجْرًا? Which type of charity has a greater reward? He said, أَنْتَ تَصَدَّقْ وَأَنْتَ صَحِيحٌ شَحِيحٌ تَخْشَى الْفَقْرَ وَتَأْمَى الْغِنَى. That you would give in a state where you feel good, you're healthy, but you're struggling financially and you're keeping track of your money. You fear that if you don't, you might become poor, and so you're looking for financial stability. When you're in that situation and you give, it has the greatest reward, according to our beloved Prophet ﷺ. My dear brothers and sisters, wealth is not our property. We don't own ourselves, we don't own our clothing, we don't own our car, we don't own anything. لِلَّهِ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ لِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Everything is Allah's property. آمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَأَنْفِقُوا فِي سَبِيلِهِ وَأَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا جَعَلَكُمْ مُسْتَخْلَفِينَ فِيهِ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَأَنْفَقُوا لَهُمْ أَجْرٌ كَبِيرٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, believe in Allah and His Messenger and give out of the wealth that you were entrusted with. You've been given wealth. When you're called to give, you must give. And those who give out of faith will have a great reward. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us about it. We know the Quran. It tells us time and time again that whoever gives will have their reward multiplied for them. مَنْ ذَا الَّذِي يُقْرِضُ اللَّهَ قَرْضًا حَسَنًا فَيُضَاعِفَهُ أَضْعَافًا كَثِيرًا. Whoever would give to the cause of Allah, then Allah will multiply that many times in response. وَمَا أَنفَقْتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَهُوَ يُخْلِفُهُ وَهُوَ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ. And whatever you give out of your wealth, He will return it to you. And He is the best of those who give sustenance. My dear brothers and sisters, let's get down to the facts. We know the Quran. We are here because Allah said in the Quran, Salatul Juma, Khutbah Juma. It is a benefit to you. It is when Quran and Sunnah will be brought to you to remind you of your purpose, to remind you of your responsibility in your claim to faith. That's why we're here. We're all being reminded for why we're here and what we're doing. Here are the facts. There is a worldwide movement against Islam and the Muslims. There's no question about this. People are trying to make all of the Muslims look like we're all a criminal for something. They're trying to make us look like we're guilty for something. And they are making everybody feel that there is nothing wrong with profiling Muslims, with abusing Muslims, because they're the problem. Muslims are being abused and we are being misunderstood on large scales. And this is the case right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, like anywhere else. Our youth are struggling with their faith and their identity in this modern context. We are the Muslims of Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's who we are. And we are known by Islamic Society of Tulsa. That is the one place in all of Tulsa where we live that its sole mission is to promote the religion of Islam. That's what we're here for. This is where our religion is established. It is where we will develop ourselves and our community and our next generation. It is the place where we will plan how we communicate our message to those around us. We have reached great strides. Alhamdulillah, we added an extra Jumu'ah. MashaAllah, we had almost 4 rows for the last Juma. Right now we have a packed house. We added more than 100, maybe 200 people to our Juma. So more Muslims are embracing their role in the community. We added, for the first time that I know of, a year-round, since last Ramadan, teen program where 20 to 40 teens given week are coming in and learning about Islam, having fun, enjoying the mosque, feeling attached to this mosque. In January, we established a youth program for the elementary kids for Friday nights. We are having strong connections to civic engagement. We are respected by many organizations in the interfaith community. We've got great media. We have had many great goals that we've achieved, and we look to make many more goals to achieve moving forward. But as that is, there's one specific concern that we should all have, and that is the future of this community. Number one, I would say, is our young generation. We want to continue to emphasize, we need a youth director to hire. If not, while we're looking to hire, we need to hire some people who are going to put in time and work and effort to establish youth programs here at the mosque. We need to engage our convert population. We have probably more than 100 converts that are in the Tulsa community, and in the last year I have witnessed 11 people give their shahada and declare their faith in Islam in this mosque. And I have seen one individual come back to Islam after losing his way in his college years. It is of the utmost importance that we fulfill our responsibility and our goals. My dear brothers and sisters, I will leave you with one hadith. Okay? The Prophet ﷺ said, ما من يوم طلعت شمسه إلا وملكان يناديان نداء يسمعه الخلق كله. Please bring it up because we have some people trying to come in. The Prophet ﷺ told us, any day that the sun rises, Allah sends 2 angels. These angels call out to the whole of creation, هَلُمُّوا يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ هَلُمُّوا إِلَىٰ رَبِّكُمْ. All mankind, come to your Lord. فَإِنَّ مَنْ قَلَّ وَكَفَى خَيْرٌ مِّمَّنْ أَلْهَى وَكَثُرَ. اللهم أعط منفقا خلفا وأعط ممسكا تلفا. So these angels will call out and they'll say, "O mankind, come to the call of your Lord. Whoever would suffice with what they have and what they need and not seek to gather and hoard lots of wealth for purposes that aren't so important, has achieved the great success." And then these angels say, "O Allah, give the one who gives their wealth for your cause a reward. Bring that back to them. And give the one who is greedy and stingy and does not pay for your cause a lesson in their wealth, a decrease in their wealth." My dear brothers and sisters, Allah is calling you here to come and establish your community for future generations and give it its best potential and capacity in communicating the message. قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله. Bismillah walhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Ya Allah, we ask you to clean our hearts with this month of Ramadan. Purify our hearts. Remove from our hearts any influence of shaitan. Ya Allah, please make us aware of the influence of shaitan on our own hearts, because that is not chained up in Ramadan. Ya Allah, we ask you to give us motivation and inspiration to answer your call to faith. Ya Allah, make us of those who give for your cause. Make us of those who answer your call. Ya Allah, unify our hearts to represent your message to the world around us. Ya Allah, unify our hearts. Do not divide us. Ya Allah, make us of people who have wisdom and understanding and generosity and charity, and see the world around us as we are your stewards and beacons to the world around us. Ya Allah, please forgive us for any of our shortcomings. Ya Allah, please forgive us by our fasting and our praying and our charity. Ya Allah, please be with us and help us to achieve our goals and to make us to grow and build and progress and to spread your light to the world around us. وأقم الصلاة وصلي على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه